Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to 5 Minutes, maybe 10, with Sean. I am your host, as always, Sean Welsh. Today's topic is exciting for me because, it's why I started my business. So I'd like to go through and look at different areas. LinkedIn is one of them. And lately, the LinkedIn feeling has been all about dealers being exhausted by vendors, overwhelmed by vendors. It's too much for us to handle. Everyone does everything. How do we know what to select? And being someone who runs a company specifically designed to attack and help filter all of this, I'm excited by this turn of events. One of the things that really caught my eye was an automotive news article. You can find it on autonews.com in this week's issue. And what it talks about is dealers complain of vendor overload. We, as an industry, are exhausted. This article is brought to us by Vince Bond Jr. I love the article. I love what we're talking about here. I'm kicking myself because we were not able, for numerous reasons, to attend the Digital Dealer this year in Vegas. But apparently there was a, let's call it a roundtable, for lack of a better word, with some big-time owners. And so when you hear about big-time owners sitting around talking about being exhausted by vendors, and they talk about when is the right time to call on a dealer. So quick story there. We actually, when we started, we're a bootstrap company. We had a little bit of cash in our pocket. So we said, look, we cannot afford a sales guy, but we need some people to work on setting appointments. So we hired a call center. Retrospectively, a bad decision, but at the time, the one that we had made. And so what I did was I had taken off my vendor hat and put on my dealer hat and said, all right, no calls on Mondays, no calls on Fridays, no calls at the end of the month, right? This was 2.5 years ago that I did this. And so here's some of what I'm hearing here, right? It's annoying when a vendor signs up a dealer across the street and then drops by to recruit me. I'm not interested. The guy next door is killing it. The dealer said during the discussion. We're tired. We as an industry are exhausted with the sales rep that comes scooting across the street, having just closed the Honda store. And they come flying in unannounced saying that you need to sign up. Dude, I agree. We do not ever have boots on the ground at stores ever showing up. The only time you'll ever meet a CarBiz representative is when I show up to your store to meet you or onboard you. That is how it works. We do not believe in the drop by. And don't call at the end of the month where stores are in the trenches trying to rally for a strong month. We talk about it all the time. The CEO here from Zmot Auto also says that timing is critical. Do your homework. Calling on Fridays when month-end close is a bad idea. When you say you have a minute, don't send them a meeting invite right on that minute. It's interesting because I follow all of these rules, yet I can't get these guys on the phone. You know why? This is why. Because I end up being like every other vendor. As much as we've tried in the last 4 years to separate ourselves and make it clear that we are partners, not vendors, at the end of the day, to a dealer, in their eyes, that is exactly what we are. So then what we are going to do is we are going to tell people that we are a vendor filter, aka a partner for you to deal with vendors. When vendors do get an actual dealer on the phone, sounds like they waste time with long-winded pitches. I'll tell you why. Because, let's not quote a number, a majority of the representatives calling these stores are not automotive people, okay? The automotive people might be the ones that stop by, but if they were true automotive professionals, they wouldn't just be dropping by. They would be doing their damnedest to set an appointment and try and get in front of the right person. So when the dealer does accept your call and you tell him, he tells you he has a minute, don't try to keep him on the phone for 10, man. Get to it, drop it down, and be done. My elevator pitch is, do you have a financial advisor? Great. I'm a digital advisor. It's exactly what I do for you. No more, no less. I make sure that the vendors, aka the stocks, are doing what you're paying for and your money is working for you. Done. Does that interest you? Have a nice day. Do you never want to get one of these phone calls again, ever, that you have to deal with? Tell your receptionist forward all the calls to CarBiz. That, my friends, is powerful. That is how you control the flow of vendors, because the worst part about this is that there are cool, beneficial, great products in market, but dealers don't hear about them because there's just so much going on. This article is well written. It says, I don't deal with vendors. I don't deal with vendors the best if they cold call. It's a pretty quick conversation. I guarantee it sounds like this. Do you have time? No. Boom. Done. That's it. So any of the vendors listening, take heed, and not only in this article from Mr. Bond, which is well written, but in what I'm telling you from an automotive background. I don't know Mr. Bond's background. Mine is all automotive. Do not bother them on days that they'll be busy, like Mondays and Fridays or month end. You have to be aware of your surroundings. It's extremely important. Once a vendor dealership is signed up, these guys say simply calling and asking how it's doing isn't enough. If you call to ask how I'm doing, but you're an integral part of the operation, you should already know. What I'm looking for is consultative advice to seeing if I'm on trend, upward trajectory. This, inside the data. This is what we provide. This article was not written by me, but my God, it was written for me and CarBiz Done Better. And I love to hear they talk about getting into 20 groups. That's not an easy nut to crack, to be fair. Some of these guys talk about they don't want to hear about a product if it can't be stapled down to the exact VIN that was sold. That's not my wheelhouse, man. I don't get in that world. Because I deal with data all day, every day, I pick my data battles, and trying to figure out what of the 19 digital touch points a consumer uses on their way in was truly responsible for the sale of a car is chasing. It's chasing the absolutely unreasonable. It's looking for unicorns. You just stay away from it. It's not healthy. Know that your budget's being well taken care of. Know that it's well rounded. Know that it matches your goals. And then once it doesn't, look to change it. So guys, this was it was a little bit over 5 minutes, 6.5, whatever. But go back and listen to opportunities versus you have a selling problem or an opportunity problem, because that will help you out, give you a little bit more context to this. These guys are way too busy to be dealing with it, and a new vendor is born every minute. While we've been doing this, 6 have been born during this time. So take into consideration people's month, how busy they are, and know this, dealers who are listening, if you feel this way, this company, CarBiz Done Better, is your salvation. We can help you deal with all of this. We are the best filter in the business, and honestly, I think we're one of the only ones. So if you're looking for it, please call me directly. As always, we'll go over the numbers. My phone number is 262-278-0157. I can be reached, Sean, S-E-A-N, at CarBiz Done Better. I'm not on the social media. We discuss it all the time, but I do want your feedback, so bring it my way. And if you see it on my LinkedIn page, you want to comment, that might catch my eye because it's the only one that I monitor, but I just monitor to see discussions like this going on every single day. Dealers, if you're overwhelmed, give me a shout. Thanks.